Very good. It's 1:30, so we'll begin the liquor control agenda for today. We have a few items on the agenda. The first one is the approve the minutes of the June 21st, 2023 regular meeting. We've got it ahead of time, so if there are any changes or corrections, otherwise we'll accept a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other changes or corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 2A, the horse race, North Dakota, doing business as North Dakota Horse Park located at 5180 19th Avenue North for a Class N alcoholic beverage license. Steve Sprague to get us started. Steve.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. So the Class N is our stadium license, and it requires a certain amount of seating, which the horse park has. And they've decided to move ahead with applying for the license. I've gone through the background check, and there was nothing, out of the ordinary in the background check. I don't know if you have any other questions.
Any questions? If there aren't any questions, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And 2B, Worst Beer Hall, license transfer from Worst Pub LLC, doing business as Worst Beer Hall, to Two Star Boys LLC, doing business as Worst Beer Hall, located at 630 First Avenue North, from a Class FA RZM alcoholic beverage license. Steve.
I couldn't add any more letters to that license, could I? So this is exactly as you said, a transfer of an existing business. The person that started this business wants to back out a little bit, breathe a little bit, I guess, and is selling the business to a couple of their employees. The FA RZ is the FA license in the Renaissance Zone, and the M designation means that they can fill a growler, that type of thing. I don't know that they're doing that much anymore. There was a time when craft beers were kind of the a little more of the rage, or whatever you would say, and restaurants wanted to be able to fill a growler and let them be able to take that home. And so that's what that license class is. The background check, a couple of credit items on one of the individuals, and I believe there was a minor in possession from over 10 years ago. So other than that, nothing out of the ordinary.
Very good. Any other comments or questions for anybody on this? Otherwise, we will accept a motion.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 3, the Police Department monthly report with the chief. And Chief, obviously, our thoughts are with everybody in the police department. Thank you for your leadership during this difficult time. And anyway, that's about all I have to say.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Honestly, haven't had much time to look through the monthly report, but if there's any questions that the board has, I can certainly follow up on that.
Do we have any questions? Once again, want to thank you for getting that to us ahead of time. We appreciate, and I guess from a perspective, are things, we had some issues with some of them in the past. Are they being addressed, would you say?
Yeah, and I think that's, and I can address this item B, right? The minors and premises, yes. So in terms of that, we've had meetings with the District 64 personnel. I know they're here today, and laid out some of the concerns relative to these issues that occurred on May 9th and May 19th. So we've been working with them on trying to acquire some additional information. And so that inquiry is still ongoing, and we would like to calendar this or continue this to the August 16th meeting, where we hope to have all of those answers and can bring that to the board.
That's great. I appreciate that, Chief, and especially under the circumstances, we can realize there's lots of other things going on. And so if someone's willing to make that motion that we continue the item to our next meeting, that would be great.
I make a motion, we table until August 16th.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief. Number 4, other items, and under other, the proposed water park. And Steve, I assumed you were going to wear a suit today and some flippers and that kind of thing.
Well, and just an update on that. After the agenda came out, we did hear back from the people that were proposing to present on that, and they've decided to move forward with their concept without the swim-up bar. So the water park will still be there. It's going to be part of a hotel complex, but there will not. They're going to drop the swim-up bar part of what they're proposing. And so at this point, they'll be able to do the water park and have alcohol at the facility because the hotel would have 130 rooms. So, providing that they apply for the license and are qualified applicant, they would be able to get an ABH liquor license. So,
Can I ask you a question, Steve? So if they did this in the future, they would have to apply for a separate license for that? Is that what you're saying?
no, not for the swim-up bar. The concern were some of the regulations with it, kind of like we did with the self-dispensing taps. We needed to get our ordinances up to date to address some of those newer concepts. And our ordinances are not in place for the concept of a swim-up bar, but they would have been able to do, the liquor license would have covered that premise, but not the swim-up bar concept. There were some things probably more on the health side about how often is the water recirculated and different things like that. A lifeguard must be present at all times, some different things like that.
So the other thing, Steve, if you don't mind, I do think for the future, if this goes ahead, this project, but to have clarification about liquor sales in the pool area, obviously there's going to be, it's a family-oriented thing. And so maybe, I don't know if we need more clarification on that, or maybe it's already clear, because to give you an example, the Holiday Inn does have alcohol and swimming, but I think just to make sure that they're clear and we're clear about what's going to happen in the future.
Yes, so it'd be very similar to the Holiday Inn, with the addition that they're going to add more of the water slides and some of that type of thing than just the Holiday Inn has. But it'd be similar because the Holiday Inn has their tiki bar in the swimming pool area, and this would be a hotel with a bar also. So
And so I know it's kind of a new topic, but so do they, is it sectioned off so you cannot take alcohol out of that area? I guess at the Holiday Inn, and would they be able to do that at this new swim area?
I think, so it's still new. They haven't broken ground yet on this part, but some of the discussions would include that part, where the alcohol is allowed to be in the facility.
Okay. Are there any other questions? And this will be it'll be an ongoing thing, but if there's any other questions?
If they wanted to go ahead with that swim-up bar, we wanted to get ahead of it, so that we could get the ordinances in place so they could design the swim-up bar around the ordinances that we were proposing.
Right.
With that taken off, we're probably looking at a couple of years before we have to worry about some of these other things that we're talking about.
Okay, I appreciate that. So if that's okay, then we'll move on. Unless anybody has anything, we'll move on to 4B. That's our last item. It's the population increase.
Yes, so at the last Liquor Control Board meeting, I brought up that, the U.S. Census Bureau has estimated our population in excess of 130,000. At 130,000, it triggers an additional license for us. And so we brought that to City Commission, and City Commission did pass a motion that declared our population to be the U.S. Census population. And so what we would want to propose here is that we advertise the availability of a Class Z license and also a Class B limited, both become available with that triggering point. In the past, we advertised for 3 to 4 months. I guess I would propose a 3-month advertising. And then at the end of that time, we would take and vet all of the applicants that we had received and then bring those to the Liquor Control Board.
That's great. Are there any questions about that? Otherwise, do you want a motion from us, basically, or do you not necessarily need a motion?
I probably don't really need a motion. You could make a motion to advertise and proceed with the issuance of the licenses, I guess, something like that.
If anybody's comments on it?
I'd be happy to make a motion to proceed with the advertising.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? So would you like to have us make the motion?
Lydia made a motion.
So would you like a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any other items, Steve, for the good of the order? That's it. Very good. Thank everybody for coming. Have a good afternoon.